everyone, and welcome to the Richland One story. I'm your host, Amber Mackey, and I have a very special guest with us today. We have none other than our 2025-2026 Classified Employee of the Year, Mr. Keith Wilder. Hello, Keith.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Great. We're so happy to have you here.
Thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in nutrition services.
Okay. You could say that I started off my career, or at least the mindset, in food service at 3 years old. The way the story goes is I used to love to help my grandmother in the kitchen. And ever since then, it was kind of ingrained as the years went on that I was going to be a cooker when I grow up. So in New England accent, that's cooka. So I was always destined to be a cooka of some sort, I guess. And I always like telling people part of my story about becoming part of the district and in the position that I'm in, because it kind of shows a level of patience as well as my faith. Because I was at a point in my other job where I was starting to get burnt out, like a lot of people do. And I was starting to look around for different career paths, and I was getting older. I was in my 40s, and I knew that if I was going to start something new, it needed to be then, something that I could finish up my working career with. And after a few months of looking around, this position, there was actually 2 positions within nutrition services at the time that I applied for. And they interviewed me for the position that I'm in now, which is schools supervisor. And they were hoping to make a decision that week. So I was really anticipating, a positive answer,
Right.
Maybe later that week or possibly the next week. And I ended up getting that call on a day that I really needed to get that call. Mm-hmm. I got home. I stopped at the bottom of my driveway to check my mail. And when I got back into my car, I said a little prayer. I said, Lord, make this be the day. And it still sends chills up my spine when I tell this story, because I get to the top of the driveway. I open up my car door and my phone rings. It says Columbia, South Carolina. And Kwame Gilliard was on that phone to offer me the position.
Wow.
I was shaking because I couldn't believe it myself. And if you're not a believer in divine intervention, this would do it.
Oh my gosh. I have chills as well. Whatever is meant to be will be. And that was a testament of that. I love that.
Yep.
Now, for those who don't know what your role is, what does a typical day look like in your role?
Okay. Well, as the school supervisor for nutrition services, I am actually so honored because the primary role is I am the supervisor for 7 area site leads that in turn oversee our 48 kitchens. Mm-hmm. Recently, I kind of joked with them. I compare them to me being Charlie and them being my angels because they're so self-sufficient in everything they do, and their knowledge that they have is just, they're able to just do everything that needs to be done within the kitchen. So I'm so thankful for all of you. As you can imagine, with 48 locations, we have a lot of equipment. So I'm opening a lot of maintenance tickets within the district, whether it's plumbing, electrical, HVAC, all those kind of things. But we also have an outside company that I have to contact whenever we have other issues with our personal equipment, such as ovens, warmers, serving lines, those kind of things. I also spend quite a bit of time trying to get out to those schools that have issues that I know I can fix personally. So in a way, it kind of alleviates some of the cost involved in having our department have to pay premium dollars to have an outside vendor come in to fix those things, as well as doing some preventative maintenance out in the kitchens to keep everything running as it should. I guess you could say I'm kind of the head guy with payroll within our department with 250 employees,
Yeah.
Yeah. So those things take up a lot of my time. Yeah.
Yeah. So long story short, you do a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your day could vary. It varies depending
Right.
on the day and the kind of, like you said, the location of the school, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Also, seriously, shout out to our nutrition services. Y'all are amazing. Y'all really are. And I think one thing we can say here in Richmond, we are a team. And y'all
Yeah.
are a really, really great team.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of great people, and we have to communicate and collaborate with all of the departments. Within each individual school, with all the maintenance departments and everything, because there's no small job. There's so many people within our team that have to come together every single day, through proper communication. Because as you can imagine, trying to get every school on the same menu. Our central kitchen team is responsible for shipping out all of the products that we serve to our students every day. And it's just the logistics behind everything that we do in that department. It can blow your mind if you ever have the chance to have a tour and realize, everything that goes on.
You're our classified employee of the year, Mr. Keith. Tell us how that made you feel when you found that out.
Okay, so the process starts off with being nominated. My director, Tracy Dixon, she approached me one day and she's like, "I'd like to nominate you for Classified Employee of the Year." Of course, I didn't really pay much attention in the past about all that. I'm not one to look for recognition, so I kind of gave her a look. I think like, "Oh, really?"
Right.
But I looked at it as an opportunity to be a spokesperson for nutrition services as well as classified employees throughout the district. I came around. I welcomed her nomination. So after that, there was a process where there's an interview process and you have to do a presentation. And I guess that went well. And I guess the interview went well. But then to jump ahead to May 23rd, so that was the night of the banquet. And when it was our turn for the 5 finalists to go up to the stage, I mean, I knew in my head it wasn't going to be me. There was 4 other very qualified candidates up there. We watched the video with everybody else. I'm like, oh yeah, one of those people definitely got it. And so it's very humbling. Don't get me wrong, but it was just kind of hard to believe. It is kind of mind blowing when you're one of, I don't even know how many classified employees there are in the district, but just to be nominated was humbling, and to be one of the top 5 and then to actually win it. Yeah, it's just,
I love that.
It was pretty wild.
And you do deserve that. You deserve to get this nomination and to get this award. So congratulations. So don't ever doubt that you deserve this, because you do.
Yeah, thank you.
You really do. So I can only imagine how much of an impact the students make on you, or your staff members, your team members. Tell us a memorable time that you can remember that you're like, wow, yep, this is why I do what I do.
One of the things that really stands out is, I mean, we're going back a few years, but during COVID, I remember it was Friday the 13th was the last day of normal school activity in March. It was in March of that year. And over the weekend, those of us in management were meeting all over the weekend, and we had to come up with a quick action plan because the kids were not going to be coming to school, but we still had children out in the community that, some of which have a real need for the food that they count on when they come to school. So we all had to come together with a plan to provide meals still, even though these kids weren't coming to school. And the USDA State Department, they had waivers that were immediately put into place, so that enabled us to actually be able to do either meal pickups or even deliver meals at the time. And of course, nobody really knew at the time what COVID was going to do. They knew it was potentially something that dangerous, and we ended up having a lot of our staff, even though they didn't know how critical COVID would be or not be, came to work. They came to work that Monday. And that was before even masks were mandated, so no one was even thinking about masks at the time. And we worked very closely with communication. Like over the weekend, that was a big part of the conversation. And I have a picture somewhere of buses lined up at Lower Richland High School that we were loading up with prepared meals. Much of it was shelf-stable type items that we were able to get at short notice. And witnessing that come to life after I was with the district then for maybe a year and a half, it was really awakening to see, just how much care is involved in wanting to make sure that these kids were going to have something nutritious to feed them while they were at home, having to learn from home.
Right. I love that. I love that example. I think that is a great example of how we in Richland, we come together when things get tough, when things get difficult. We come together and we put the main thing first, which is our children.
Right.
And I love that you gave that example because I feel like every department does that in some way, shape, or form. So I love that. And I think that in Richland One, we thrive on doing that, putting our children first.
Definitely do.
If you could give any piece of advice to someone interested in becoming a part of the nutrition services team, what would it be?
We're actually very fortunate because a lot of our positions are actually currently filled. A lot of our current positions that are available are more of a part-time 5-hour position within the kitchens, but we're always looking for, those great candidates that would be our kitchen managers, which we call cafeteria crew leaders. To have those leadership skills to come in and really take charge of those kitchens and the staff within the kitchens and have that rapport with faculty and the fellow team members. So hopes and desires for nutrition services in the future is just that we continue to build the number of kids that actually come and get our breakfast and lunch. There tends to be a stigma almost, especially when you get into middle and high school, where a lot of the children, they don't want to come to the cafeteria, or they may bring their own lunch, or in high schools, I think sometimes they're allowed to leave and go get lunch from somewhere else. But what we offer, especially having a couple of chefs and a dietitian, is they really try to put together recipes and menus that are more appealing with what we're able to offer, adding different spices for additional flavors and things like that. So that's really a desire that I have and our entire department shares.
I love that. And let me tell you, y'all do a great job. Those taco bars, we've heard from our students how much they love those.
Yeah,
and y'all do incorporate different spices, not just salt and pepper, but
we can't do salt.
Yeah, exactly. So y'all find a way to make it flavorful.
Right.
It's so cool. And I'm like, all of y'all come in my kitchen and help me, help me cook. Seriously, y'all do an amazing job of that. So thank you. So this has been amazing. You are amazing. And we want to thank you for coming on. All of our guests get a fun question at the end. So my question to you is, if you could have dinner with any famous person in the world, who would it be?
I'm a fan of comedy. I love comedy movies, comedy shows, things like that. You need to have some laughter in your life when you're dealing sometimes with serious situations. So, people like Will Ferrell make me laugh.
I love that answer. We will literally be laughing the whole dinner.
Yeah, I think he would probably be one of the most fun people to sit down and have dinner with.
Absolutely.
Might not even be able to eat during that. So
don't worry, I'm going to call him right after this and tell him that we're going to Longhorns and to join us.
Maybe he'll see this and invite us both.
Will, come on. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilder. We appreciate you, and thank you for all you do.
All right, appreciate being here.
Well, that is the end of this episode of the Richland One Story. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. For all things podcasts, please visit our website at www.richlandone.org/podcast and be sure to follow us on all our social media accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram, and X. Thank you for joining us, and remember, we are Richland One.